now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, Puckle Podcast.
It's Puckle! Puckle! It's Puckle! Puckle! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! Puckle! Puckle.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Puckle Podcast. I'm your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my wonderful co-host. We've got the one and only Lord Jushiro.
Some say good morning, everyone.
And we've also got R Sigma.
Hi, it's been a while since we've done a morning one with me, I think.
Actually, you're probably correct.
It's been a few months since it's been a morning recording for me.
For those of you at home, we record the show at random times nowadays. We do have a standard recording time that we typically record. We typically record Saturday mornings, but one for myself and my own sanity, so I could have some weekends where I don't have to record a podcast. We sometimes record not at this time, so it is a little bit different to be back at the normal time. By the way, guys, welcome to the Puckle Podcast. Puckle, of course, standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name we came up with in 2007, where we talk everything Pokemon, from the trading card game to the video game to everything in between. And I think this is a little bit in between, everything in between today.
Yep. And that's pretty much how it feels, that we're in the in-between games.
We are in between games. This is something that a lot of people who have returned to the fandom, or who have not been following the fandom for as long as we have, right? Because most of us have been around for at least the past decade, if not longer. This happened 10 years ago. This happened 10 years ago, where they never announced. What's worse is this is nicer than last time, because in 2014 Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire came out, and then it was just radio silence until Sun and Moon were announced in 2016.
Right.
It's you better like this new mystery dungeon game, because that's all you're getting.
Yeah, pretty much. For the record, we don't even have a mystery dungeon game right now, right?
Yeah,
we don't have that on the horizon or anything.
Nothing.
You will play TCG Pocket and you will like it.
If that ever gets a release date.
I imagine we'll hear about it before Worlds.
If not, we will hear about it at Worlds. That is my assumption.
One of those two. Two.
I'm actually really curious about VGC's format and what they're going to do, because I am of the opinion at this point that we aren't going to see Pokemon Legends Z to A until November of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what do you mean? Oh, that's going to be the only game we're going to have?
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I think so. Honestly, at this point, I think we would have heard something more about it by now. I guess to be fair, when they were doing their news cycle for Pokemon Legends Arceus, they did say that they were going to release it in January, but we didn't get new news until August of that year.
Yeah.
I mean, we already have a Nintendo game releasing in January right now. The one thing from the Direct is we're getting DK.
Oh yeah.
It's not going to be January this time.
I don't expect it to be out in January for sure. If it's anything, right, it's going to be it's going to be sometime between March and November of 2025.
I was going to say, I'd be fine with it being a summer game.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they did a weird off cycle release. I honestly, part of this is also fueled by the fact that the 30th anniversary of Pokemon is going to be 2026, right? And so they're going to, my assumption is they're going to try to push Gen 10 back to 2026. It's a bold assumption, but that's my assumption right now.
Yeah, I feel like that's okay.
And that's about on pace for what Game Freak does with new Nintendo consoles as well, because we'll probably get the new Nintendo console sometime next year, which will probably be backwards compatible anyway.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I think that's what's delaying everything, is the fact that the Nintendo is taking their sweet time revealing the next gen.
I don't think that has any bearing on what Pokemon does. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, does in the marketing success part of it.
It doesn't, but Pokemon has traditionally just not cared what Nintendo's current hardware is. They released Pokemon Black and White 2 the month that the 3DS came out.
That is true.
They don't care. They will just do whatever they want. I think they're tied to Nintendo hardware because of the way the Pokemon Company is structured.
Right.
But I think they will choose whatever one is most convenient for them. And like I said, I expect the Switch 2 Electric Boogaloo to be backwards compatible with the to be backwards
Switch.
compatible.
I have to imagine it is.
There's no way it's not, right? Like,
I mean, this is Nintendo we're talking about.
That's why it's not 100%.
Yeah,
It's like,
making us pay for old games is kind of their jam.
yeah.
So I don't know.
Luigi's Mansion literally just released for $60 with no additions. So yeah.
Luigi's Mansion 2 and Luigi's Mansion, yeah.
No, not even. You're right. It's only 2, not even the 1. They could have packaged it together and people wouldn't complain.
Luigi's Mansion 2 came back as a $60 game when it was originally a $40 game on DS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Donkey Kong Country Returns is now getting its 3rd release.
Mm-hmm.
And it's $60 now. It was originally, I believe, $50, then it dropped to $40 because it was on 3DS, and now it's back up to $60. And they didn't even add Funky Kong this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Well, I should ask you because I know Jushiro has an answer for this. What have you guys been up to lately in Pokemon? This is where we just let Jushiro run Sigma. We're just going to let him run.
That's fine.
So I had mentioned in the podcast before that I've been set on a mission. I want to go through all the generations, the ones that I can, right? Not counting the first 2 on Game Boy because those poor Pokemon are trapped there forever. But I'm starting, not only did I start my adventure, I did it by learning my first ever soldering work. And I was able to transform. So let me just rewind. I asked for my wife.
I'm proud of you for learning how to solder, Jushiro.
Thank you. It was super exciting.
Even an old dog can learn new tricks, guys, okay?
Yep, that is true. It takes us a little while, but we do. A little longer. And I didn't burn myself, which was honestly amazing. I was half expecting myself to
impressive. I've burned myself several times.
Yeah, no, it's pretty impressive. I honestly, I'm amazed myself. So my wife did get me all Game Boy Advance games for Pokemon: Fire Red, Blue, Green, and then obviously Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Unfortunately, and bless her heart, she didn't know, they ended up being reproductions, meaning they're fake.
Womp womp. Yeah.
Yeah, they're fake.
Oh, I was going to say, there's a lot more of those these days.
Yeah,
I would be concerned if you want to transfer things up though. Some of the repos don't allow transfer sometimes, like the games.
Absolutely, I read about that too, and there is a workaround. You just need one real version because you can trade from repros to real versions on the same generation. You can't go up. So if I transfer all my Pokemon from all these repros to a real Emerald, for example, then I can up to then Gen 4 to a DS version. So that's the plan. I need to get myself at least one real Game Boy Advance version that should resolve that problem.
Okay.
But as I was able to reprogram them, soldering them, put batteries on them because they didn't even have batteries, and reroute the power, and now they're in working order, and I've been playing ever since. Just got to Celadon City, right where my Eevee, the reason why I started this, because I want to jolt in with all the ribbons, and yeah, that's where I left off, trying to shiny hunt, and then I realized that in the internet there was someone who posted, got my Fire Red Eevee after 27,000 soft resets, and I'm like, I don't think I have the patience for that. 27,000 soft resets. No, it's fine. A regular Eevee's fine.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Super excited. After
Nice.
Fire Red, I'm going to push him to either Sapphire or go through the Game Boy Advance versions first, right? To get them through and then move them all up. And hopefully by this time next year, I'll have a full team of Pokemon on my whatever generations we have up. With all the ribbons and all this stuff, so that should be a lot of fun.
So do you have a GameCube for that ribbon or not?
I have not yet, but it's in the plans.
Oh,
Okay.
I think you only need the second one. I think you only need XD.
For which one?
For the ribbon for getting up Mount Battle. Because there's 2 ribbons you get. One is for purifying a Pokemon, but since you're not purifying, that one's irrelevant. So I believe the only ribbon that matters is getting up Mount Battle.
I believe you are correct. You can do it in either, I think.
You can? Okay. I have no clue.
I think you can. Don't quote me.
Why is the purifying one out? You can't get that one.
Because
How are you going to
it has to
purify
be
your
a shadow
Jolteon?
Pokemon to have it.
Yeah, it has to be a shadow Pokemon to get the purification ribbon.
Ah, gotcha.
And so it turns out there's only like 50 Pokemon that are eligible for it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I was disappointed they didn't bring back the purification ribbon in Legends Arceus. Because the description says a Pokemon that went through like a harsh trial. Well, what are the solo trials in Legends Arceus? They should have brought it back, and I'm a little disappointed. Just to get more Pokemon available with it on it.
I think you're correct. I think it does have to be XD. XD went up, I found out recently.
I'm not shocked. That's GameCube games.
How much is it running for now? I haven't checked.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's a GameCube game because COVID happened and
All right.
everything jumped. So Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, like, it depends on how complete you want it, but you're looking at somewhere in the order of, like, probably $170 to, like, $220.
Oh, so it's probably less than Path of Radiance. That's cool.
Yeah, it is less than Path of Radiance.
How much is Path of Radiance?
Path of Radiance? It's like $250 or something right now.
Oh my god. People stop it.
I don't know how they haven't, like, ported that yet. Shouldn't be bad.
Yeah, seriously though.
That's insane.
I saw the Wii game too. Radiant Dawn is going for like $100-something now too.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
They need to port those. They need
What's
to just
happening?
port those.
What's happening? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
So what happens when you don't get ports?
Yep. All right. Well, not to cut you off, Sigma, but I'm going to cut you off and myself.
That's fine. That's fine. Oh, I didn't realize how long we've been going.
Yeah, I'm going to kick it on over then to the news. So let's cue that epic music.
Coming to you live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
Welcome to the topic, or not the topic, the news. Oh my gosh.
I mean, there's
I'm
enough
still tired.
news to be a topic, but...
Yeah, I'm a little tired for once, right? Controversy resolved. TPCI has spoken out about the TCG illustration contest. People who broke the rules will be replaced. So at least 6 people will be added to the top 300 that weren't there previously to replace some of the AI art.
Oh my god, really? That really happened?
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, the
AI is ruining us.
The bigger issue is, like, the biggest person who people assumed also had, like, 6 entries instead of the allotted 2.
Yeah.
So
They, like, signed up under, like, 6 different names. It was ridiculous, yeah.
Wow.
Like, I completely understand getting that person out. It's like 99% chance of AI and 6 entries instead of the allotted 2. It's like,
Yep.
You broke a lot of rules, but...
Yep. I assume they submitted more than 6 as well when they did
I
it,
imagine
probably.
so.
Like, it's a numbers game for them. All right. Ho-Oh was confirmed to be the next unit in Unite, releasing for the anniversary later this month. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's an EX, and they are very much changing the meta again, where they're now allowing 1 EX in Master.
Did they finally fix that?
Yeah, well, it was when the EX were introduced. We definitely had them. Then they removed them from Master Rank. So once you reach Master Rank, we couldn't use EX Pokemon, just the regular ones. And now they replaced it where now 1 on each team is allowed on Master Rank.
I didn't even think Miraidon felt that special during the Dragon event, but I don't know.
But he got nerfed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now when he was first released, he was ridiculous. His Hyper Beam or whatever beam he does, which was doing way too much.
It's like I remember playing as him and getting beat up by Dragonites, so it's like...
Yeah, Dragonite did get a boost.
He seemed very okay. not like brokenly
I actually picked up Unite again recently, and I was actually having a good time with Dragonite.
Yeah, no, he got boost. He got buffed, so he's one
of the bigger ones now. It felt good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, moving on. The person who designed Miram, Rayford, and the Fido line was a designer on Bayonetta and Okami. Well, that's a nice little bit of trivia.
That is. Those are 2 very beautiful games.
Yeah. All right, Jushiro, I'll let you take on these next ones from Scarlet and Violet.
Absolutely. In quotation marks, Megaseptile, which you guys will explain what that means, is the latest 7-star raid. It has unlimited dragon dances alongside Breaking Swipe, Leaf Blade, and Thunder Punch.
They did the same thing they did with Charizard, and they made it a Dragon-type Terra, just like it's Mega.
Oh, that's why the Mega in quotations. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So that's happening. And then later, of course, we have the first set of regional was announced for the North America. We have in Baltimore, Louisville, Sacramento, and Toronto. The IC, Intercontinental Championship, I assume, is in New Orleans again.
Mm-hmm. I guess they moved to New Orleans from Columbus.
They probably had like a multi-year deal or something.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
That's my guess.
Well, I thought they might move around after that, but we'll see.
I thought it leaked out that they're going to California next year. Or in the year after. Like
that
2026.
Sucks.
It leaked out.
I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised.
Actually, that might have been
Chicago.
Worlds. So
I'm surprised NAIC is just not in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's such a convenient place for so many people to get to.
I think it's because convention costs are too high. That's why they are.
They're probably incredibly high.
That's probably why they don't have the Chicago regional, and it's like down the street.
It's in Peoria, Illinois. That's not down the street.
It's close enough.
But yeah.
All right, so we got some.
All right. Yeah.
We got Go news.
Yeah, move on, Sigma.
Dynamo is the July Community Day. We already have it, despite it being July 21st. Probably because Go Fest New York is next weekend, and the weekend after that is Go Fest everywhere. So, yeah, if you don't have Dynamo yet, which, like, it's a miserable hunt in Scarlet and Violet, so I don't blame you, you can get your shiny Dynamos. We have an Aquatic Paradise event that runs essentially next weekend, the 6th to the 9th, and it adds shiny Ducklet to the game, along with a bunch of water Pokemon that are spawning, whatever. It's just there because New York gets shiny Ducklet unlocked for their Go Fest.
I always like I always feel like Pokemon Go fans get like really hyped up for like they're adding this shiny Pokemon to the game, and me over here I'm just like, is that worth like telling anybody? Like, is that worth locking behind anything?
I don't know anyone who cares about shiny Ducklet, but
well, like shiny, like anything. You know when they do that for like any other event?
Yeah.
You know?
It's shiny Pokemon are not nearly as exciting as, what's it called?
New Pokemon.
Yeah.
Just like any other Pokemon that's not in the game.
Especially when it's like not boosted shiny ons. It's kind of like, where's
Score Bunny?
I think we really need like a new shiny that is over shiny.
Super shinies.
But that's just.
I'm actually kind of curious. I am actually kind of curious what they'll do, because like in the artwork for like the past few years in Pokemon Go, they'll show like the starters from the next generation.
So the thing
and
is,
they can't do that this year.
I mean, they could add Scorbunny there.
They have art though with those guys in it already.
They can do it again because supposedly they're coming because they moved it. If you go into the game and check where the Mega button is, they moved it.
Yeah,
because the rumors are Dynamax and Gigantamax are coming.
Dynamax is coming. Yeah.
So. They moved the Mega button from, like, the little corner it was in to underneath, like, something. It's down lower now. It's annoying, but it's there. So it sounds like that'll probably be not this month, or not this set of months, but, like, September onward is my guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, maybe they do it at the end of this, or, like, August, but my guess would be, like, September onwards. We could start seeing Galar. We hear about it at Worlds, probably, or before Worlds. Like in their little...
No, this makes sense.
That would be my guess. And then the other thing is starting July 8th, in the lead up to the Go Fest for the rest of the world, we have a different Ultra Beast raid every day, with regional ones being a thing. So if you're missing any Ultra Beasts, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter because I think...
I'm missing most of them.
I think during Go Fest, all of them are available too, or something like that. So... Necrozma is the big thing from Go Fest, but that'll be in next week's news, I think. Probably.
We'll find out.
In TCG news, Japan's reprint set this year, like their December set, is supposed to add the Terra Evolutions.
Ooh.
Oh no! So I told my wife. I've been holding out on. I have a couple of the. We got like really lucky a long time ago when before I had like a real person job and I was still a grad student, we would still collect Pokemon cards back in like the Sun and Moon era. And I forget what you said it was. There's one set with like the cool Mewtwo GX in it though, where like he's still in his pod because he's just been cloned.
I vaguely remember that set, yeah.
Yeah, and we it was like Legendary Treasures or something like that.
It was the one with the shiny Pokemon too, wasn't it?
Yeah. And so we accidentally pulled like 3 of those.
Ooh, how much have they gotten up to?
They're up to like 120 right now.
Dang, nice.
And I'm sitting here and I told her, I'm like, I'm going to sell those the next time there's a set with like evolutions in them. So it sounds like my time has come. Because like because I legitimately will, because like I'll just like go buy like a Elite Trainer box of that and just hold it for like the next 20 years.
I mean,
and it'll just skyrocket in price, just like Evolving Skies.
Yeah, lately we've been getting their reprint sets as like special sets in January, and I'm curious to see if that's how they release them, or they have to release them in like a regular product, because otherwise the prices.
If it's a new card. Yeah, if it's a new card, it depends. I mean, they should do, honestly, what they're doing with the Greninja and the Kingdra.
Where they're just in boxes, yeah. Or the rare ones
where they're
in
just in boxes. That's what they should do.
I mean, that's what they did with one of the shiny Charizards.
Yeah, they did. They did do that. It wasn't a good shiny Charizard, but it was a shiny Charizard.
I mean, they still had this art rare in the set, but they're like, everyone who wants a shiny Charizard can have their shiny Charizard.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, Wo-Chien's News Corner brought to you at a snail's pace. 10 years ago, Japan had a raffle for a 3DS XL with Ash, Xerneas, and Yveltal on it. They also announced the rules for the Season 5 of the special Battle Spot rules, no items, as a means to feel like Red, Blue, and Yellow. Man, I miss these fun tournaments. God. This would have also been the year of the first PuckleCon with U.S. Nationals happening in Indianapolis. PuckleCon doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. And 25 years ago, To Be Master, the album, released. All right, so Puckle's Pokey Opinion is the way we'd like to end this segment, as always. What's your favorite member of the Swords of Justice? It's not Virizion.
That is a tricky question.
It's not Virizion.
Not Keldeo?
I can.
White Mikaira?
Keldeo's okay. Keldeo's okay.
Mine's Cobalion.
I like Cobalion and Terrakion, I think, are just like 2 solid ones.
I hate them all.
Terrakion's too bulky for me. I like the Cobalion one.
Cobalion, I think Cobalion's going to edge it out for me. I'll go Cobalion. Yeah.
It's not as exciting, like, in competitive, but I think it's designed cooler.
Yeah.
I'll go with Keldeo.
Keldeo?
Okay.
Solid choice.
He's the most adorable. The rest, I just dislike them. They look wrong.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they're better now. They've been remodeled.
That's why they remodeled them.
Yeah.
They're all whatever psychic type, but it's fine. All right, but on that note, guys, that's been our news segment. We're going to kick things on over now to our Poke Quiz segment, where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
Oh, hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark from the Dunsparce Gang, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
Welcome to our Poke Quiz. Thank you for that introduction. We're going to get right on into it. Our first question is going to come to you from Zay Paladin. What is the first Pokemon to appear in the Pokedex that currently has a 4 times weakness?
Oh.
What is the first Pokemon on the Pokedex that has a 4
I assume
times
National Dex,
weakness?
right?
Yes.
All right. So it's Charizard?
Yeah, I guess so, right?
He takes those rocks real
double
bad.
weak to, yeah, that rock is real nice against him.
Are you locking in Charizard?
I mean,
I'm
it's not
thinking,
grass
like,
poison, so yeah.
Right.
So Charizard is correct. Yeah, it's 4 times weak to rock. I'm glad you guys got that. I'm sure like somebody in the car like is really upset they didn't get that at this point, but
They went straight to Butterfree. It's okay.
they went straight to Butterfree.
Also, 4X weak to rock.
Yeah. All right. This next question is from Hyperion. What is the most common type combo? This includes every stage of every Pokemon evolution line. So like of all Pokemon, what is the most common type combination?
So it has to be 2 types, right?
Yeah, it has to be 2 types put together. Yeah.
I assume so.
That's
I would
what
guess
a combination
flying
is.
normal, but
I was gonna say the same thing. Flying normal. The only other thing that I could possibly think is grass poison.
There are a lot of grass poison specifically because Gen 1 exists. But
yeah,
I think
after that, no.
I think there are more normal flyings, possibly even in Gen 1 compared to grass poison.
That is true, yeah.
Are we locking in normal flying?
I think normal flying is...
Yeah.
Normal flying is correct. With 28 Pokemon, normal flying is the winner by a wide margin. In second place is grass poison with 15.
Look at that.
But it's 15. It goes from 28 to 15. It's a pretty hard drop off.
Oh, wow, yeah. It is a pretty hard drop off.
Yeah,
and then bug flying follows that up with 14.
That one would have been hard to get, but I also would feel bad about not getting it.
Yeah, understood. Well, you guys are doing it. You guys are two for two. Your next question is your Pokedex entry question, as always. This comes from Toganik. Its Pokemon Violet entry reads, it spends its time running around wastelands. If anyone steals its beloved berries, it will chase them down and exact its revenge. Who's that Pokemon?
The second time I got a berry
I don't think it's Squavit. Just...
Can you repeat that question one more time?
It spends its time running around wastelands. If anyone steals its beloved berries, it will chase them down and exact its revenge. This is from Pokemon Violet.
I do not believe that it is Squavit.
Wasteland. It goes through wasteland.
Wouldn't be Volibee, right? It's running around the wasteland, not flying, so...
Right. And I don't know what will be in the wasteland.
Right.
It sounds like it has to be like a poison or dark Pokemon?
I would have guessed
ground?
Darkish. Like...
Darkish, likes berries, what... Ooh, wait. I'm getting something here. What's dark, eats berries, that it's in the desert?
Yeah, in the desert's the one that's giving me issues.
Yeah.
What about Capsakid?
Yes. Actually, that makes sense.
That's darkish enough. I mean, he evolves into a villain, and he lives in the desert.
Yep.
I'm just trying to figure out desert Pokemon that care about berries.
Yeah, no, you're right.
He's a grass type, so it makes sense for him to care about berries, and he evolves into a villain. But he also seems kind of pathetic, but I have no clue what a Capsakid Pokedex entry looks like, so...
Right. Yeah, I'll stick with that, too.
We'll try it.
All right. Capsakid is unfortunately incorrect. Your next entry is going to come from Pokemon Scarlet, and that entry reads, its toes levitate about half an inch above the ground because of the psychic power emitted from the frills on the Pokemon's belly.
Wow, it's a frillish? Or not frillish. It's the little.
I'm lost.
Are you locking that in?
I think we can lock in Flittle. It's either Flittle or a Spatra.
Flittle is correct. It is Flittle.
There we go.
I would not have expected it to have berries because it's so small.
Yeah, the first one's kind of wild.
Yeah, it does live in the desert, though. I will agree with that. But
all right, well, you're 3 for 3. Your next question is your multiple answer question, and it is going to have. I believe we have 12 answers on this one. So there's up to 3 points. What I'm going to do is for every 3 of them you can give me, I will give you a point. If you get all 12, that's nice, I guess. This next one is from Mull Coffee. What 12 Pokemon are capable of Mega Evolution have gender differences?
Oh wow, that is a quarter of them. Okay.
I am
Heracross
not sure how good I'm gonna be here.
You do have to lock them in. 3 strikes, you're out.
Is it the Mega Evolution with the gender difference, or is it just
the Pokemon, just the Pokemon?
So Heracross is an easy one.
Heracross is correct.
Same with Scizor.
Pinsir?
Scizor is also correct. That is 2.
Pinsir, yeah. It has shorter
Pinsir has
horns, right?
smaller pins, right? Yeah, I think so.
Pinsir is not on my list.
It
but
might
I
have been a Gen 4
double-check
gender
you.
difference that got lost eventually.
I will
that
allow
might
it
be-
though if it is true.
I feel like
Um,
Pinsir's are smaller if
I thought that was the case in
I'm-
like Gen 4, and then they might have gotten rid of
and
it.
then they removed it.
I think there
I'm
are
looking
some.
in- I'm-
I think there are
I am
some
looking into this
gender.
for you. This is not true, unfortunately.
Ooh.
That never
No?
was true.
Okay.
Yeah,
Never
so
was
that's your
true.
first strike.
Sorry about that.
It's kind of like how
Sorry about that.
Venusaur has the seed in it. Or
Venusaur
had.
does.
I don't remember if
Yeah,
it still
yep.
does. I feel like they got rid of it at some point.
Venusaur's 3, that is 1 point for you guys.
Yay. Glalie, I don't think has any. Steelix, I don't think has any. Absol, I don't think has any. Lucario doesn't have any. Beedrill, maybe.
Venusaur does still have it,
It
actually.
does? I guess I
Yeah.
only. You don't see them in the wild, and
Yeah, that's
if you
exactly.
if you aren't using a female, which is what 1 in 8, you probably
Yep,
don't
exactly.
see it. So, and it's not
Right.
like it's a popular Pokemon on competitive right now. So, so what other? I don't think Lopunny has
Does
one.
Alakazam have shorter
Mustache?
His
It might, yeah.
mustache. His mustache,
little
is
mustache.
shorter, right?
Who is this?
Alakazam.
Alakazam.
Alakazam is correct, yeah. You've got 4. You've gotten 4 so far. Heracross, Scizor, Venusaur, and Alakazam. So that is 1 point, and you have 1 strike.
I don't think any of the Hoenn starters have anything. Sableye, no. Pidgeot, I don't think has anything.
Do we have a Mega Butterfree, or am I confusing
No.
that with the Dynamax?
It's a Gigantamax.
Oh, yeah, Gigantamax, right? Okay. Oh my God! What else? What else? What else?
I'm just trying to think through what the megas are.
Flygon doesn't have.
There is no
doesn't
Mega
even have a
Flygon.
Mega.
I don't think
wishful
Aggron has
thinking,
anything.
Man. That was like
Uh,
Salamence doesn't have anything.
Metagross doesn't have a gender.
Right.
Garchomp, I don't think has anything happening with it.
If it does, I don't recall. Who else? Ooh, Luponi. Does Luponi?
I don't think so.
But No.
Same
right?
with Tyranitar. I don't
Uh,
think it has anything weird happening.
Nor Kangaskhan, which is only
It's only female.
anyway.
Technically, it's a gender difference. That male doesn't exist.
Technically, yeah, you're right. The male version is non-existent.
There are 8 of them that you are missing right now. They
Oh
exist.
my God! How are we these wrong?
because there were only like 5. Did Manectric have differences? I don't think so.
I don't remember.
Gengar doesn't have
Manectric
differences. I'm going through the
Gengar
TCG
doesn't.
cards now. Abomasnow? No.
Obama Snow, does he have a difference? No,
I don't think so.
I'm gonna need some answers here, guys. You guys are gonna have to
Yeah,
start
we
just
need to
throwing me
speed it
names
up.
here. We're not gonna sit here forever.
Yeah.
Right. What other megas do we have?
Because you've named all of the megas, and you
Do you
have
think
not.
Houndoom
You've
has,
said
like,
some of
different
these
size
names
horns?
already.
Do you think Houndoom has different size
yes.
horns?
Yes, he does. I remember.
Houndoom does. That is correct. That is 5. There are 7 more.
Who else?
It's not Audino, I don't think.
No. Shortened tentacles. Anyone with tentacles mega evolve?
No. Does Aerodactyl have differences?
No, it doesn't. Not that I remember, at least.
You never know with some of them being just smaller. It's annoying.
Yeah, that is true. Oh man, I'm so stuck.
Just start throwing names at me. You got 2 strikes.
What was their second strike?
You have 2 strikes left. You have 2 strikes left.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry for the confusion. I just
Does-
realized that doesn't make sense yet. You're on 1 strike.
Does Ampharos?
Ampharos is incorrect. That is
Okay.
your second strike.
A strike, and last one. Let's throw one last one. Who mega evolves? I can't remember. I can't believe I'm forgetting all the megas. It's the pressure. I'm just not good in pressure.
Nah, this is just not something you'd think about often either. So,
Yeah. Can't remember any other megas.
I mean, Gallade and Gardevoir don't count.
Right. I mean, does Gardevoir have
No.
male and female differences?
No.
Not counting Gallade, of course. No? Okay.
I'm going to need an answer here, guys. I need an answer.
We can try just Pidgeot, I guess.
Pidgeot, then, yeah. Pidgeot?
Pidgeot is your 3rd strike.
That's fine.
No.
Oh my god.
So you got Venusaur, Alakazam, Heracross, Scizor, and Houndoom. That's good enough for 1 point. The ones you missed, Gyarados,
Oh,
different whiskers.
Didn't know that one.
Steelix has an extra rock, essentially.
Wow. I'm shocked.
I never noticed that one.
Yeah. Blaziken has longer feathers.
Oh yeah,
depending on
Blaziken
gender.
line does have them. It has a little spot on its little booty.
Medicham has a different head bulb.
Oh, I forgot that was a mega.
Camerupt has different sized volcanoes depending on gender.
Huh.
And Abomasnow has longer fur depending on which gender
I
it is.
knew that, but so that one rang the bell when I thought about it. I think he does, but I couldn't remember.
After this is
And
done, I'm looking
Garchomp
I want to see what.
and Garchomp has a fin groove depending on gender.
Also,
Yeah.
okay,
You guys got one though. You guys are still 4 for 4, so you're still alive. You know.
I gotta point out.
No,
that.
yeah, the only one I really could have gotten is
Abomasnow.
The rest, I'm like, well, I don't remember. Didn't know either. They didn't know or didn't remember they had.
I would have liked to have said that just point blank that Gen 4 Pokemon have gender differences because that's when they were introduced, but clearly
Honestly,
that wasn't true because Lucario and Lopunny were not on that list.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, your last question is your base stat question, as always. This one is going to come to you from Zay Paladin. Which fully evolved Dark-type Pokemon has the lowest base special attack?
Huh. Do you want to get a hint?
Lowest base special.
Do you want a hint?
attack.
Do you want a hint?
I'll give it to you. There's a
you.
lot of dark Pokemon. I feel like we want a hint.
This is a dual-type dark Pokemon with normal typing.
Oh.
What?
Obstagoon. Oh, no.
Which fully evolved dark-type Pokemon has
So-
the lowest base special attack?
Obstagoon or Alolan Raticate? I feel like it's probably Alolan Raticate, right?
Yeah. I feel like that's it, yeah.
It's just a less BST total, and I think Alolan forms like to move like 10 points to a different stat usually.
Right.
And it's Eradicate. Like,
Yeah.
We go
I'll go with
Alolan
that.
Raticate?
I think so.
Alolan Raticate is correct. And since you used the hint, you don't get the bonus point. But
That's fine.
you do
We were never
get
getting-
the 5th point.
I was never getting there anyway. I
You do
forgot
get
it.
the 5th point, which does change our standings today, in that you guys are on the board.
Yay.
All right, in our race to the end of the year, we've got Sublime in first place with 14 points, Bocephus in second with 8, tied with Claude. In fourth, we've got a 3-way tie between Whimsicott, Seth Philo, and Dr. Shamu at 6, and in 7th place, we've got a tie between R Sigma and Jushiro at 5.
Yay.
Everybody else has yet to get on the board. With that said, guys, we are going to go ahead and kick it on over to our topic. Hey, Thatch here. A lot of you have been asking how you can hang out with us during the week. Well, the best way to do so is come to our Discord server at puclpodcast.com. You can join our server and you can hang out with us, talk Pokemon, battle, do a bunch of cool things, join in our tournaments. So what's stopping you? Come on over, pucklediscord.com. You can jump right on in and have a good time talking with the hosts of the show, as well as the large community we've gathered over the years. So come on, let's hang out. Welcome to our topic. Our topic today is casual versus competitive play in Pokemon. I don't know where I'm going with this yet, but we'll find out. What really sparked this idea in me this week was the other day they announced, TPCI announced their new formatting for the World Championship Series for 2025. And there are, oh my god, so many opinions about this. So I want to go ahead and like give all of you just like a, hey, this is what happened, so that you understand where I'm coming from with this. Because I think a lot of the Puckle community is probably in the same boat that I am, where, yeah, we like to play competitive in heavy quotes Pokemon. We don't see ourselves as like world competitors.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I want to go ahead and just like give everybody the world's update, and we can go from there. So let's see. Oh, I typed in TPIC instead of TPCI. That would make a huge difference. So the coolest thing they've done about this is they've changed the logos.
Logos do look real sweet now.
that the logos look really nice. The Pokemon International Championships and the Pokemon Regional Championships logos have changed, and they look really nice. I saw somebody on Twitter claim that they really wanted to decrease it, but yeah. Or they wanted to go back to the old ones, and I'm like, no. These look way sharper.
No, these are better.
And they're animated, too.
The old ones look like they came from the mid-2000s, or 2010s, probably.
They absolutely did, that's why.
Because they did. They were very old, and they had a lot going on that didn't need to be there.
So, let's keep going then. So, they changed a lot of things. One, the way Worlds has usually worked in the past, I don't know, like decade now. Well, probably over that.
I think it was about a decade, because I want to say 2014 is, they also used like Top X or something like that.
That sounds right. Yeah, it's been about a decade then. It's been about a decade.
I think I saw Jody saying that he qualified under a Top X back in the day or something.
So they're only allowing it in each region, right? So there's the US and Canada, Europe, Latin America, and Oceania. X number of players in each division can go to Worlds, and that ranking is dependent upon the number of championship points that they have. So it can happen. So for the record, this year it required 600 points in TCG to go to the World Championships, and I think now it's the top 125 Masters go instead of 600 CP, which I think is a much rougher cutoff. It's going to be. Because I think this year, like, number 125 had like 620 some championship points or something like that.
I mean, yes, but also there are some number of people that probably stopped once they hit the threshold, right? Like, they didn't continue competing once they reached it because...
Oh, for sure. So it's going to be even worse. It's going to be even worse then. It's going to be more blood hungry, right?
So yeah, it's going to probably climb to, my guess would be, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it was closer to 700.
Oh, it probably would be at the end of the, well, they did, so there's these things in competitive Pokemon also called best finish limits, for those of you who are unaware, which means that of a certain type, you're only allowed to collect points from X number of those events. And so, this year for challenges and cups, which are like, if you go to your local TCG store, these are the tournaments that they'll hold. They decrease those from 6 to 4. So that is far less. And they even, I think, changed the number of regionals and internationals. Did they put those together? Yeah, they did. They changed that to 6 together, which is kind of insane given that there's only 3 internationals. And on top of that, like, the point spread difference between an international and a regional is ginormous.
I'm gonna pull it up right now.
Yeah, and typically like regionals are I think will have more players than an international, which is kind of a lot.
Winning a regional gets you 350 points. Granted, you automatically qualify, so that doesn't really matter. But if you're in an international and get top 32, you're guaranteed the same number of points.
Yeah, and just the top 32, that's insane. And it's probably fewer players.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's I mean, NAIC is probably going to be massive still, but I think EUIC and LAIC are both smaller, so.
They're typically smaller tournaments, yeah. Just because of the international travel costs and everything like that, too, from people from the US. So that it's kind of nuts to me, because it's just like, oh, you make it to 2 ICs, like, you're probably kicking it good, like, living good.
Yeah, you have a big advantage. I think that's the biggest change I would have liked to have seen, is internationals just have a hard cap of 1, maybe 2.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Just because of how many points they have and how much more money they can demand compared to regional attendance.
I agree with that.
Because international travel,
I don't want to get into it. Even domestic travel, but that's a whole other thing.
I mean, domestic travel is not great either, but there's still going to be some regionals near you.
But yeah, they make these changes. I'm sure there's some other changes I'm missing as well, outside of, like, this is the one that seems biggest to me. But
you get rewards based on your play points or your championship points.
No, based on your championship points, not your play points, which is also weird. But yeah, whatever.
We don't know what those are, but that could be exciting.
I do really. I mean, I like playing Pokemon. I have gone to Pokemon regionals within the past year. Though I don't have any plans to go to any of them. They have announced some. It does look like a smaller number of them.
I mean, they only announced the first half.
Yeah, but even compared to the first half of the year, I think it feels a little light.
There's 3 in the U.S., 4 if you count Toronto.
3 in the U.S., 4 if you count Toronto, which is, Toronto's not the US, but it's pretty close. Sorry, Canadians. But yeah, it's an interesting way they have it set up. So I had this thought because like I've stopped really going to compete. I follow a lot of competitive TCG players and competitive VGC players on my social media because I like to take ideas from them so that I can use them personally and just be okay at the game. Like I don't think I have a strong desire to be the best like no one ever was, Ash Ketchum. But I do have a desire to be like okay at the game. You know what I mean? Like I would love to like if I roll up to locals, be able to like have a chance to win the store credit. You know, that's what I want at the end of the day. I don't know that I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to like grind worlds this year or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I started thinking to myself, like, am I a casual? Am I a competitive? Does that label even matter? I don't think it does personally, but what does that mean for like me and my relationship with not really competitive Pokemon? Like I asked this question actually. I've been trying to be really good and ask a question of the day in the Discord. I miss most of them. One of the questions I asked recently was when this was announced on Thursday. I did ask it the Discord like, hey, what do you think? It was like a two-parter question because it was just like, one, do you even care about the World Championship Series? And I was kind of surprised because there's a lot of people who don't want to compete in Pokemon per se, but they want to be able to watch the World Championship Series. I thought that was like very interesting. I
do appreciate that they do streaming for all of their events. Like that is nice.
I'm kind of hoping a little part of me that this change makes it easier to be a casual, if that makes sense. This is my personal experience and part of the reason that I don't go to my locals as often anymore. Your mileage may vary. We had a lot of people showing up to our locals who were just like CP chasers, championship point chasers. Honestly, they were just like the worst people to deal with. Because, you know what? Maybe right now I would want to roll to locals with the Blissey EX deck. But you know what they're going to do? They're going to tell me that's not optimal. Why are you playing that trash?
That is like an awful experience to have too. And I'll admit.
And like, I don't want to deal with that, you know? I don't want to deal with that. I want to go play my game and have a good time. Now, granted, I'm not saying everybody in my locals is like that, but there's a lot of people in my locals. And honestly, Pokemon's been growing at like an exponential rate.
Nearly unsustainable. Like,
kind of actually, yeah.
I completely understand wanting to lower the number of people just because of how many people there are now, right?
Both VGC and TCG. Like, VGC is hitting numbers that TCG hit, like, 5 years ago.
Before COVID? Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's hitting, like, pre-COVID TCG numbers.
Like, I remember when TCG was happy to hit 1,000, like, a little before COVID, right?
They're hitting 2,000 or 1,000 without an issue.
They're hitting, like, 2,000 to 3,000 now.
TCG hits, like, 2,000. They want to hit 3,000 if they can.
But the venues don't support it, is the issue.
No, they don't support it at all. So
the issue is events fill out in less than 10 minutes and people can't play. Like, that is an issue. That is a legitimate issue.
No, I mean, so like for reference too, like my locals, one of the bigger local places here holds pre-releases. And so Silver Tempest, I went to the pre-release because I was like the first back in person pre-release. And I wanted to go play in pre-releases because I always have a good time doing that. And, I wanted to try to pull a Lugia V-Star.
I was going to say Lugia's in the set. Obviously you were going there.
Yeah, obviously. And so I went, there were like 20 of us that showed up to that pre-release. Good time. The latest pre-release that they held for Twilight Masquerade at that same store now I did not go to it because this has been a trend that I have seen. I did not go.
But you can check it online. You can check attendance.
But yeah, 71 players.
Oof. Dang.
For a pre-release.
I was going to say, my local shop got like 6 for one of their pre-releases in the most recent set. So
yeah, it's insane to me. And so it's part of the reason like I don't go to League as much anymore. It's because I'm going to go up. There's going to be a bunch of tryhards. And I want to play Blissey EX, you know?
And there are always these mixed maxers that are always competing just for the points. They're also the worst losers. Like my experience has always been that they get so pissed and they are actively aggressive when they lose. And it's like, yeah.
It also doesn't help that like it's Pokemon as well. So like I go there and I'm the 33-year-old guy who's there with a bunch of like 19 to 22-year-old kids. And these are the ones that are chasing CP most of the time, for the record.
Well, yeah, it's a young person's game.
It is a young person's game, which is fine. I have no problems with that.
They have more ability to travel to the regionals. Like, yeah.
I have no problem with people like wanting to do that. I just think it breeds like a weird competitiveness in the community. I don't know. I'm probably being a little nitpicky, and I know a lot of people who are in the community who are super nice. Their local store, like they'll have somebody compete for worlds. Like I was just talking to a buddy of mine, not through the podcast, but he plays Pokemon, and he lives down in Texas. And they have a good solid local community, and a junior made it to Worlds. So the entire community is like building random decks for him to play against, so that they can help train this kid for Worlds. And that's the kind of community I like. I love that kind of community. I would love to see that continue on. I don't know. I would love to see that happen even with this, and maybe this will help. I don't want to say demotivate, but calm it down. Yeah, calm it down just a little bit.
Like lower the stress. I don't know. It's tough because ideally it gets less people like pushing to get that top 75. So it's just calmer.
Yes.
But also the people near the top 125, 75, depending on the game.
Yeah.
Get to be more stressed out and make it a worse situation. Like I saw a lot of people saying, wow, it kind of stinks that you have to root against people now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I did see that.
No longer are you rooting for people. You're rooting against them unless they win the tournament. And then it's like, oh, okay. Well, you're not a threat to me anymore. You aren't stopping my ability.
I do see that because like it's no longer just in your control. It's based on how your other friends are playing, which it kind of always was to some extent. But
now it's even more so, which kind of
yeah,
could lead to more toxicity, which is unfortunate, but only at like the top levels. So
maybe at the higher levels, top levels.
Yeah, it's more of a top level thing.
I'll be honest, that doesn't affect me, but
no, it's like,
yeah, being casual doesn't affect me at all, which is why I remain silent most of this.
It'll affect people complaining on Twitter, and that's how it affects me. But like, just making it more depressing.
Jushiro, if we lived closer together, I think we'd go to locals. I would go to locals more often if one of you guys lived closer.
I would be there playing Greninja and be happy.
Yeah, we could just go play. We could go play whatever we want. We can go play video game. We go play trading card game and just go sit down at the store and have a good time. But I like to say, as always, like my friend circle is full. I don't need to make new additions.
See, I would love to do VGC locals, but it's like,
yeah, that's a pain in the butt to do.
It's like 40 minutes away from me. It's the closest one. So it's like,
Oh, wow. Yeah, there's an actual one by you. That's insane. Is there even one by me?
If you were in Pittsburgh, there's like 20.
Yeah, that's Pittsburgh.
I think I saw one in Cincinnati because I had to.
You're trapped once you get there. You're trapped because of all the bridges.
But there are so many VGC events down in Pittsburgh. It's kind of crazy. Here in Cleveland, there's one way out in the suburbs somewhere. It's like, oh.
Whoa, there's a new one that opened up. Oh, man.
Yeah, I think I saw one in Cincinnati because I did like the 250-mile search.
Oh, no, there's a bajillion in Cincy.
I was just looking for like the premier challenges for video game.
No, there's a new store that opened up. Like, it's a bit farther away.
Like TCG. But
they've got a league. And that's on Saturdays. Oh, man, maybe I'll consider this.
Like near me, there's a lot of TCG options. Though my most local store only has a league, doesn't have cups or challenges.
That's fine. I don't know if I need cups and challenges. Like challenges, I don't mind. Cups get pretty intense.
So like the main issue is there's like 6 people who show up and like half of them are juniors. So it's like not super exciting.
I don't need it to be exciting. It's fine. I'm all for not exciting. All right. Well, yeah, I don't know. Like the way I wanted to steer this though is to like think about my relationship with the game and what I want to do. And I don't know. I've definitely become more casual over the years. As most people could probably tell listening to the podcast.
Congratulations. You're now part of the main audience.
There's no issue with that.
Whoa. I'm still a super fan, which makes me not part of the main audience.
He's still a tier above.
Oh, you special little snowflake, you.
Jushiro, I'm not like other girls, okay?
He's not like other fans. He has a starter as his favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I still enjoy playing Pokemon, like, competitive formats, right? Like, I still go on Showdown pretty often. I love jumping on VGC. Like, what's really weird about, like, my experience playing VGC, too, recently, has been that, like, because I used to train VGC real hard. I used to grind it real hard. Is that it just comes back. I got top 15 once at a regional.
Top 16, it's all, or what was it?
St. Louis.
St. Louis? Okay. Nearly Peoria.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, St. Louis, like, has things. Like, Peoria is like a farm town, and I don't know why they went to Peoria.
Because the convention center probably cost them $20 for the weekend.
As someone who has rented out small town convention centers during not peak times, I can tell you how cheap those can get. Okay?
It's like they were able to trade belly button lint to get that convention center.
That one year I got the Dayton Convention Center for those 2 days with that giant room we had. That cost $500 for the whole weekend. Like, that was probably less than some people's hotel rooms.
Probably. Jeez.
Yeah, if you go to small towns, it's pretty cheap. So yeah. I do think it's I do think it's a good time though. And I mean I enjoy it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and I kind of look forward and kind of hope that more people I don't know, it feels really conceited to say it. Like, I hope more people become like me. And like they want it well, like I want to go to League. Like I want to go to League. I can just like play Pokemon. You know what I mean? I don't want to go to League so that I can help train for Worlds. Like, those aren't my aspirations. My aspirations aren't to go to tournaments and do well. My aspiration is to go play some Pokemon cards or play the Pokemon video game with a couple of people by me.
Some of the discourse I saw for the announcement. In the announcement, there was like an at-home play part of it, and I was really hopeful for that because do you know what was really fun? Players' Cups. And I was like...
Players' Cups are fun. I think those are coming back for VGC. I think those are.
That's what I was hoping was in that announcement. Instead, it said there are more global challenges, which are the weekend tournaments that give you CP, which were used to get you qualified for Players' Cups. I thought Player Cups was great. And if they were to bring those back, that would be cool. Like, I don't like traveling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Traveling is not fun. Like, both times I went to play in nationals, I would get exhausted by like round 4 and I'd be like, okay, I'm done.
That wasn't even far for you at the time. Like,
no, it was 2 hours. So it's like, I was exhausted and it was just not, but Players Cup let me play at home.
That's what I believe that as a casual player, that's where I believe that they really should work on more accessible online tournaments here.
This kind of even like comes back to like, it even comes back to like the philosophy of Puckle. I'm sorry to talk over you, Jushiro. Yeah, like that was the idea. It was like, let's do something where we can play at home because that's where it's at. I think that's where the most fun happens is in those local communities that form, and it's just hard to find one that's like that.
Yeah, when you're in somewhere familiar, you're less anxious, and you're probably better off that way.
You're absolutely correct. Yeah.
When you're more familiar with something, But yeah, I really wish they did more things like that. Or the team challenge. Imagine TCG team challenge, but you don't have to be at the same LGS. That would be so cool.
Oh, that'd be cool. I would love to like essentially do like the equivalent of a Pokemon Unite team for TCG. I think that would be fun.
I think so too. You have 3 people. Would you do unified deck lists? That's the big question for me.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because it's not like every deck is playing Professor's Research now.
This is like a live version of us going through the next Puckle tournament. I did love like that triple tri-attack trios or whatever we did.
That was a good time. It's a lot to run, but it's a good time.
It's a lot to run, but it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I have like a satisfying conclusion for this or not.
The way I approach competitive nowadays is like I want to get master rank or master ball rank in VGC every month, and for TCG I don't care on live. I just want to finish the
battle pass or whatever. Yeah,
battle pass. If I do that, I'm happy.
Oh, TCG I do like climbing, especially now that it's possible to climb. But
this is completely out of left field since he brought it up. Sigma brought it up. Do you think there's battle passes in every game in existence now? Do you think that's something they might bring to the main game? Okay.
I don't think so.
Not to the main game.
It's a practice that every single developer in existence is using right now.
It's in everything else, but I don't think
if the battle pass does exist for each season, it'll be something like, hey, here, I would argue we kind of already have it in the main game. It's just not like it does.
I mean, they give you stuff at the end of the season, but
they give you stuff at the end of the season. They give you stuff as you like progress up through the ranks. So it's pretty much a battle pass.
And the issue is there's not really anything worth giving. Like, they finally got to giving Herba Mystica and rare Pokeballs, and that's about it. That's as exciting as it gets.
I think they could do better by just like, hey, shiny Pokemon, because you did it this time.
Or Pokemon with special attacks or something.
Like, you want to boost your online gameplay numbers? That's what you do.
I mean, that's what they do for the global challenges eventually.
No, worry. Oh, Pokemon with, with attacks they wouldn't otherwise learn or something like that.
Oh, go ahead, Jushiro. We kept talking over you.
That's bad, though. Like, you don't want that for competitive. They've done their best to get rid of it.
It became a huge issue because, like one of the Pokemon, like, if you look at some of the winners for Worlds in, like, the past decade, like, Wolf Glick won his World Championship with a Pikachu that learned Endeavor from an event. That
happened during Worlds Weekend the year before, and resetting for it was, like, incredibly unlikely, so it was obviously Gen, so, there was Follow Me Magmar, which is why we had to use Gen 6 only Pokemon in Gen 6, and Gen 7 only in Gen 7.
They've been trying to fix that problem for a while, and they finally just, like, fixed it by, like, upon entry into this game, you lose your move. Sorry, bud.
Yeah, which is a great way of doing it. I think I am content with how they did it. I don't care about the Darkrai's that lose their event moves. They can't use Spatial Rend anymore. Oh no, I'm so sorry for them. I don't care. It works so much better for everyone else.
All right. Well, I'm gonna wrap us up here because I don't know that there's like a good place to go with it. But yeah, hopefully you liked our rambles where we just like talked about what we felt like in competitive Pokemon now. Hopefully, I'd love to hear how you play. Are you competitive? Would you say you're a competitive grinder, or do you want to be a competitive grinder? puclpodcast@gmail.com. On that note, guys, we're going to kick it on over to our Pokemon of the episode.
Poke of the episode.
Welcome to our Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex number 135, Jolteon, the lightning Pokemon.
Oh, hell. A sensitive Pokemon that easily becomes sad or angry. Every time it moves, moods changes. It charges power. Just like me.
What?
I mean, come on, guys. It's Jolteon.
I think Jolteon's in the top 2 original Eevee evolutions.
Absolutely. It's actually top 1, but I'll let you make that mistake.
Do you think it beats Vaporeon?
I think it's number 1 unless you count Eevee. I think it's better than Vaporeon, and it's better than Flareon.
I mean, it is very fast with 130. I think it's the only one of the evolutions that got the 130 in the speed, right? Yeah, I think one or two of them have the 110 there, but not the 130.
Espeon's got 110.
And a decent special attack.
And I think Leafeon's got 95?
Yes. 65 HP, 65 attack, 60 defense, 110 special attack, 95 special defense. That's actually pretty high. And 130 speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Jolteon, I mean, it's the problem is it got screwed when the move call happened in Gen 8, I think. But it's starting to come back.
It is. So good. Listen up. So my precious Jolteon. It's cute, lovely, smart, adorable, irresistible, plus amazing. I'm assuming you guys understand this. So it's wild, beautiful, kind. I love it. You hug it. It's spiky, kind of shocking. It's a spectacular, captivating, simply divine. I treasure it. Oops. Look at the time. Jolteon's my favorite Pokemon ever. I have to speak of him. Ever since I saw him in Gen 1, I knew that was my favorite Pokemon. Just don't understand why. It just is. It's cool.
I mean, that's how most of that works, right? Like, I like Primeape. I don't know why I like Primeape, but I like Primeape.
I like Primeape too. Actually, my Fire Red right now, I am gonna run him because I want him to be eventually evolved into the ghost fighting.
Annihilate did it justice.
Yep.
Annihilate.
Yep.
Annihilape's good. I just don't know if it's as good as Primeape. You know what I mean?
Primeape is very simple. It is literally a ball of fur with arms and legs.
I'm into it.
At the end of the day, simple is what wins many times. It's just so elegant in the simpleness of designs when they just click with little to do. And just Jolteon, to me, it's just one of those Pokemon that are just so iconic since the first time you see him. Much like all the Eevees, to be honest, that's why, they're so famous. It's just, competitively, he's been on and off, mostly off recently. Which is a shame. Did have a point where I hated Mega Magnemite,
Manectric, because it was just Jolteon with fire moves. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Because this is Jolteon with better moveset, which is what I've always wanted Jolteon to be. But here's hopeful that it will make a comeback eventually in one other generation, give something for the evolutions to be, back in the OT overused, OU category. But
let's aim small. Let's go for RU first. What they really need to do is give the evolutions the let's go move. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm. He just needs a better move pool because
they really should give them the let's go moves.
I want my Umbreon to be baddie bad. That's all I have.
Baddie bad. Baddie bad.
That's what we need.
Okay, maybe with that name, I'm not here for it, but...
Maybe also give Flareon good stats. Flareon distribution.
Flareon's move pool is fine. It just needed Flare Blitz 2 years before Flare Blitz existed.
Right.
In all honesty.
Didn't it take a couple years for it to get Flare Blitz? Didn't it only get it in Black 2, White 2?
It did. I mean, Flareon's not bad now. It gets like superpower.
Yeah, but it's too slow, too low HP, and too low defenses. It doesn't survive. That is true.
There are a lot of good fire types. There are not a lot of fire types, but the ones that do exist, there are a lot of good ones. Like a Volcarona. Yeah. Flareon's never going to beat a Volcarona in being good.
Right.
Flareon's when you go, we've got Arcanine at home. Okay?
That's true. As long as we have Arcanine in the game, odds are you're probably not using a Flareon.
Yep.
Yeah. We've got Arcanine at home, so we've got Flareon. That's what Flareon is. Poor Flareon. It's fine. Yeah, I don't know when it got Flare Blitz, but yeah, it took so long.
I've seen Terra normal quick attack Flareon. That's just a bad extreme speed Arcanine, right?
That's what I literally used to use them back in high school. Because I was determined to use the 3 Eevees. Yes, that's a long time ago. I was determined to use all 3 Eevees.
Far away.
Yep, and I was able to determine that the only successfully good strategy with Flareon is quick attack. Just to finish off something I left out with lower HP. It's terrible. But anyway, Jolteon is good. Highly recommended, guys.
It was very fast back in the day, and then we got faster.
I think he's pretty fast still, no?
He's still pretty fast.
Is there anything fast?
Fluttermane, Dragapult.
Oh, yeah, right. Never mind.
Yeah, sadly, there's a lot more things that are like 130 plus speed nowadays. 130 used to be like a really good speed benchmark. Like even the dead horse was at 130 speed.
It could reach like 400 and something. Maximize it on speed. It could be like 409 or something like that. 401. But I thought that was still fast for today's meta. I'm surprised it's not.
It's still relatively fast. It's just that there are faster things.
Wow.
Like right now, Koraidon and Miraidon are usable, and they are faster.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Iron Bundle is faster.
Yeah. Jolteon of the TCG also did okay recently, like before rotation.
I thought VMAX was cool.
The VMAX Umbreon was actually pretty cool that they came out with. We don't have any Jolteon like in rotation now, which is no, there's a G block. 151 happened. I'm a dummy. We're talking before the segment, like I'm not sure there's any rotation. Jolteon does exist in 151. It's not good, but it does exist in rotation.
Yeah. I mean, there weren't many good 151 cards, so it was a nostalgia set, and it did exactly what it wanted.
In 151, there's a couple of cards that I think a lot of people overlook that I think are fun. So I've been running Blissey EX as like a pet deck recently, and I purposely don't play like max HP Chansey in the deck. There's a Chansey with like 130 HP or something. I've been playing the Chansey for 151 with 110 HP.
Isn't the Pidgey better in 151 too?
It was, but now I think it's optimal to run the 60 again. It's for like if we're getting to like VGC reasons, is why you have like 20 in your HP stat or something when you talk about that. But But yeah, the Chansey in that set has an ability. It's so silly, and it's why I play it, because like if it works out, you're just like really happy. If it doesn't work out, you don't feel bad. But the ability is called, I believe, like Lucky Bonus, and it reads if when you draw a prize card, you draw this Chansey as your prize card. You can put it on the bench. If you put it on the bench, flip a coin. If heads, take another prize card.
Oh, that's a greedy dice.
Yeah,
Nice.
It's greedy dice, but a Pokemon that you're using anyway. So that's a good one. The Jolteon in the set actually looks maybe okay.
Does 180 to V's and EX.
It does 180 to V's and EXs, which is actually not bad. For 1 energy linear attack, this attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So just one of them. So you can do a little bit of bench sniping for 1 electric, and the problem is like it's not a basic, I think, is the biggest issue. But there's also Fighting Lightning, which is 90 plus for an electric and a 2 colorless. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon EX or Pokemon V, this attack does 90 more damage. So that's actually pretty cool. I'm into that actually. You can get that card. It is in rotation, so you can get that Jolteon. The VMAX though was a lot of fun when it was out.
I like the VMAX. I played that for a little bit.
I remember I got really upset because I got thrown in the Jank Tank in Dallas.
The Jank Tank, sorry.
It's where you go when you get a tie.
When you lose like 2 matches, and then when your record is like 0-2-1, you get thrown into what I like to call the Jank Tank, where all of the decks that people were playing because they thought they would be like anti-meta exist.
Gotcha.
Where the Durants live.
Yeah, I won
reference.
like 1 game that whole day, and it was actually against the Jolteon deck against the Lugia deck, which is probably the reason they were also down there. Because like the Jolteon deck was meant to beat Lugia, which is the deck I was playing, because electric is super effective against Lugia, blah blah blah. And the VMAX did this attack for an electric and a colorless called Max Thunder Rumble for 100 damage. And this attack also does 100 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. So it's like a good way to like clean up at the end. Like you hit the Lugia, then you get something, you boss something else up. Next turn, you take out the Lugia plus whatever's in the active. You get a nice 3 prize turn, probably 3 prize turn, based on the fact that it took forever to get this set up and blah blah blah. But yeah, I mean, it was a cool deck and it was a lot of fun. All the electric decks at the time were like really fun to play with. None of them were good, which is why Lugia went rampant.
Right.
So. Lugia was Lugia came out too soon.
Yeah, well, it came out before all the special energy rotated, right? Like,
yeah, that was really
and the
amazing rares.
Yeah.
Oh, that was. I mean, it wasn't that much time with it, but it was too much time with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely correct. Do not disagree. It's in a good place now. Like Lugia right now plays, I think, pretty close to what it was playing as before.
Yeah,
like
Minccino was
again.
Or Cinccino was a very good addition.
I don't even play Cinccino anymore. No need.
Really?
Yeah, no need. Iron Hands functions perfectly fine now, especially with Legacy Energy, and you can actually even fit in. Well, you don't need to fit in Radzard anymore because you've got Ursaluna.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I'll send you the list. It's pretty fun. Without it's back to Lugia the before times.
I don't need the list. I'm not a Lugia player. I'm currently a Greninja player that occasionally picks up Qianpao when the daily missions require it. Attack with 4 water Pokemon, Greninja's not doing that.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Jolteon's been a good time in the TCG. I can't wait. I hope that set we were talking about in the news does exist. And we get new evolutions, because if we get like 8 of them, like one of them's got to be good.
Maybe 2.
Yeah, it might be 2. Yeah, like one of them's got to be playable.
I mean, Evolving Skies really only gave us Umbreon, but and eventually like Leafeon kind of got there. Espeon was Attack, so.
And I think we've got
Jolteon
a good
was
Eevee now.
fine.
I think we've got an Eevee. Well, we do have an Ascension Eevee, which is nice.
Oh yeah.
I think we might even have like an Eevee that's very close to like, hey, just
There's also the Forest of Giant Plants A spec coming for all.
Yeah, okay. Everybody's excited about.
I don't even think that's that good, but yeah,
it's not that good because it's a stadium. Because like
Stadium Search isn't great.
What Stadium Search do we have? Like none.
I feel like there should be like one Arvin like stadium searcher, but I don't know what it is.
We don't have it. I'll tell you that. Like, I'm sure they'll like announce one at some point, but we don't have it right now.
Like a lot of the item specs are really good because Arvin and Irida exist.
Yeah.
And can find them whenever you need them.
Yep. All right. Well, I don't know. Do we have any more like Jolteon things to say?
I don't think so, which is part of
Zappy,
the unfortunate part of
Zap.
Jolteon. There's not much to say, because its move pool sucks.
It got slightly better.
It's a set of 8, so you know.
Yeah. Jolteon's move pool is okay. It lost Signal Beam, which I don't know if that matters.
It did. For me, at least. I mean, I'm not comparing.
In my heart, it
did
matters.
for me.
In my heart, it matters, Thatch.
It's good in the Pokemon Stadium Gym Leader Castle speedrun. It has
That's
Thunder
true.
and Pin Missile.
Then Thunderbolt, Wild Charge now for that attack stat it doesn't have. It does get Alluring Voice now, though, actually.
Oh,
What does that
Dragons
do again?
beware.
Yeah, Alluring Voice. I think it's a new move in Gen 9.
Is that the one that confuses if they boost their stats?
Alluring Voice, it's 80 base power. It's a fairy type move. The move also confuses the target if the target stats were raised during the same turn before the execution of Alluring
I like
Voice.
it.
Which is unlikely because Jolteon's too fast, but you know.
Yes.
If they're prankster bulking up,
It's still like decent fairy type coverage.
it still
on
hits
Jolteon.
dragons. That's what we're here for. Dragons take damage. And you have Terra Blast. Like,
Yeah.
never forget.
Never forget Terra Blast.
It's like hidden power, except you have to invest a lot more into it.
Yep. All right. Well, that's going to be it for our Jolteon. We are going to go ahead and we're going to kick things on over now to our mailbag.
It's mail time! Send in your emails! Mail!
Welcome to our mailbag. The mailbag is the part of the show where we read your emails on the show. If you email us at puclpodcast@gmail.com, we typically have a prompt. We wanted to know your Nuzlocke stories this week, and we got some good ones, so I'm actually very excited to go ahead and read them. And as always, this segment is brought to you by the fictional energy drink Green Tauros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves!
And we'll get the Green Tauros badge if we remember or we feel moved or something. I don't know. Our first email is going to come to us from Sleeve, and I believe Sigma's got this one.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Hope you're finally enjoying the start of summer. Oh,
Tell me about it.
last week was
It was terrible.
a week of 90-degree weather is awful.
Well, it wasn't even just the 90 degrees. It was like combined with the humidity.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Anyway, reminder to keep an eye on those wet bulb temperatures. Humidity matters. And wear sunscreen. Before I talk about my experience of Nuzlocks, I want to talk about the Smogon NFB tier. Seeing how it was summarily slandered last episode. What did you guys say about Thwacky?
I said I thought it was a tier that existed, and I don't remember what else I said.
Back in Gen 8, when the NFB tier was playable on Showdown, I decided to ladder in that tier. I built a team consisting of Galarian Mr. Mime, Electabuzz, Girder, Reboot, Thwacky, and Pharaohseed. That is a strong-sounding team. In short, the tier was so popular that after about 15 wins, I was 84 on the ladder. And it was taking so long to find matches that I lost interest.
I understand that.
Onto a more interesting topic, Nuzlocks. I love Nuzlocks. They're my favorite way to play Pokemon, due largely to the fact you use Pokemon that you usually wouldn't. My favorite run to date was my Gift Lock World Tour. In this challenge, I could only use gift Pokemon or in-game trades. I was allowed to hunt and catch the required trade requirements and redeem the in-game trade. So in other words, we got the Onyx for the Bellsprout, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't know. I think it was Gen 1. The plan was to start in Gen 1 and work my way through the gens,
Oh, no.
carrying over the Hall of Fame as eggs into the next game. Oh, that would have been neat.
Yeah, I like doing that. I like this idea. I've thought about doing it several times and just never followed through.
I assume that would the starters count as gift Pokemon?
Yes.
Okay. So you're guaranteed to have at least one good Pokemon, goodish Pokemon, that can get you through the early parts.
You get like Eevee in like all of them too, though.
Yeah, but you gotta get through like half the game to get an Eevee. And then you have to choose which evolution to get. The craziest part of the challenge was beating Brock with only a Pikachu. Oh, it was Pokemon Yellow. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Okay, that would make it hard. Double Team was my savior, and it only took 8 restarts. I got as far as Platinum, where I wiped in the Distortion world. Probably should have opted for an easier Gen 4 title. Here's the shock, though. The star of this whole run, you couldn't have guessed it, was Miles, the Mr. Mime. I got him in a trade for an Abra in Yellow version, and he was a special powerhouse through all of the games. I played until his untimely demise in Silph, when we revisited Kanto and Leaf Green.
Womp womp.
Because of Miles, I can now never look at Mr. Mime in disgust again. His combo of Psychic, Shadow Ball, Light Screen, and Barrier was almost unstoppable until I accidentally triggered the rival battle in Silph.
No.
With a team that desperately needed healing. But that's all part of the fun of Nuzlocke. The randomness, the danger, the finality of it all. One mistake can end your run, and that's the drama I live for. Anyway, thanks as always for the fantastic content, and I urge anyone who hasn't tried a Nuzlocke to give one a go. Gen 3 and Gen 6 are good starting points. Peace and love, Sleeve.
Well, thanks, Sleeve. All right.
So, we got...
Yeah, our next one's from Reptile. Yeah, that's you. That's you, Jushiro.
Reptile. Yes, up with you, Puckle Crew. I don't have any Nuzlocke stories, I'm afraid. But I am working on another challenge that works well for those of us who don't want to make things too challenging, but still want to take the time to force ourselves to use new Pokemon and explore new places we otherwise wouldn't have, and that is the Living Dex. I've been a Pokemon fan my whole life, but until Gen 9, I have had only ever fully completed one game, Leaf Green. Scarlet and Violet reinvigorated my love for the series, so I decided after completing the Dex and a Living Dex in the base game of Violet, I wanted to catch up and experience the series' history. So, I made my rule set. One of every Pokemon, including alternate forms like gendered versions, colored Flabebe, seasonal Sawdox, and etc. Well, you might, this is Jushiro intervene, you might stop at the Spinda, because otherwise you'll never stop.
Luckily, those don't count as swarms.
Oh, okay, good. From the region they were introduced in my own OT, with a few exceptions for mythical and certain legendaries. Once I was done, I'll bring them all to the Pokemon home and have a full collection of Pokemon from throughout the history of the series. I would love to have experienced every region from Pokemon's long history. Since then, I've completed Paldea and Alola, except for Gustlord, because I played both Ultra games and getting Gustlord in the Ultra wormholes is exceptionally annoying, and have been working through Kanto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh. It's a longer challenge than a Nuzlocke, but one where I'm encouraged to experience the new Pokemon in each region, especially when replaying through the games a second time for a version exclusive. Thanks for listening to my rant. I love to hear about other collection-focused challenges you all have heard or attempted. Best always, Reptile. I'm loving that everyone's getting their own little personal Pokemon challenge.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's the way it should be.
Right. I'm in my own little challenge to get, all the ribbons on a few EVs and stuff like that. It's just, that's the way you really know you enjoy Pokemon, when you just keep finding new ways to just enjoy it.
When you keep playing on the off.
Yeah.
On the off years, right.
The off years, maybe. We'll find out.
Yeah, it depends on if you count the DLC.
All right, this next email and our last one today is going to be from Tamal. Good day, Puckle. I've done a few Nuzlocks in my time, including one in Let's Go Eevee, where I got a full-on shiny Bellsprout as soon as I entered Route 2. But Nuzlocke stories aren't what I want to share with you this week. I want to share you one of my challenge runs. I play along with a gym by gym, week by week podcast called Experience Share. I'm aware of them, which I highly recommend if you need more Pokemon podcasts in your life. I did an unevolved only run in their Swish season, with additional rules that forced me to evolve one Pokemon after each gym, rival, and main character battle, and boot one member from my team after each gym badge. It resulted in a team that was constantly changing, and it was always heartbreaking to lose core members of my team from sheer chance. Godspeed, Ellie the Electrike and Jacob the Punkaboo. It was a challenge, but quite tedious to keep up with the constantly changing team. So in my infinite wisdom, I decided for their BDSP season to do a Ditto-only run. What a fool I was. Yes, absolutely. I caught level 5, level 5 10 Ditto in gold. Oh, 5 level 10. I read that wrong. I was dyslexic and read the words out of order. I caught 5 level 10 Ditto in gold and transferred them, plus another random low-level limb Ditto from a more modern game to my new Brilliant Diamond file, and set off on my journey. What followed was the single most miserable experience I've ever had in a Pokemon game. Here's why. He's right, though. This is a terrible idea. I could have told you that.
I don't disagree.
One time I was playing Pokemon Emerald, like way back in the day, because I had that Ditto cave and I was getting all of the Ditto with the different natures in it. And I accidentally like walked on to like the SS Aquapolis or whatever, the SS Aqua.
With almost all Dittos in. And
I was stuck with a party of Ditto. And I had to do all the trainer battles before I get off the boat.
Oh, God.
And so I'm sitting there, and I'm fighting against a Pelipper that only knows, like, Stockpile and Swallow. And I'm sitting there like, oh, God. And we're just, like, sitting there clicking Stockpile and Swallow. And I'm just like, this is going to take so long.
Wow.
Like, there's not even a chance for one of us to lose.
Right.
It was terrible. The obedience system until you get to Badge 2 only traded Pokemon up to level 10 obey you. I slogged through Eterna Forest and surrounds with a team of 6 disobedient Ditto, with the battle against Gardenia probably taking over an hour to do. Then, I had to keep these gooey freaks under level 30 until I defeated Marilyn and Crasher Wake. Imposter mechanics. Did you know that if a Pokemon with Imposter transforms into another Pokemon, it also copies their stat changes? I sure didn't know that until I was up against hardened Geodudes and Tail Whip Pachirisu. Bad movesets. Example, facing Byron's Bronzor, slapping each other with Confuse Ray and Flash Cannon, getting the opposing Bronzor into the red, and then Byron uses a Hyper Potion. On the plus side, I saw some interesting movesets as well from the gym leaders, like Gardenia's Turtwig with Iron Tail. The existence of Shellos. Water Absorb only moves being Mud Slap, Harden, Water Pulse, and Recover. Agony. The fact that the game is Brilliant Diamond. Don't be mean to Brilliant Diamond. Brilliant Diamond is a fantastic game.
It just copied regular Diamond.
No. The gym battles are much harder.
That's fair. They did improve the gym battles.
I think they are the best games to Nuzlocke. I honestly think they're some of the best Nuzlocke games. Anyway, thank you for letting me rant about this horrible experience. Even if it doesn't get read on the show, it's cathartic to type this out and share my misery with you. If any of you have had worse Pokemon experiences than this, no, you haven't. Cheers, mate. Tamal.
Okay, the badge.
All right. Well, thank you for that email. I think he got the badge.
I think that gets it.
I think the badge goes here.
Your Ditto agony that you put yourself through wins you the Green Tauros badge, Tamal.
The Green Tauros badge, for sure.
Just let us know on the Discord. If you want to email us next week at puclpodcast@gmail.com, puclpodcast@gmail.com. I can't get puckle@gmail.com. I think it's taken by somebody else. Yeah, puclpodcast@gmail.com. You can let us know what you guys think, what your relationship with competitive Pokemon is. Do you like watching regionals? Do you like competing? Let us know. puclpodcast@gmail.com.
Or do you consider yourself a filthy, filthy casual?
Yeah, do you? Are you Jushiro's best friend? Let us know. But until then, you can keep up with us on the Discord at pucklediscord.com, on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the like. Additionally, you can also follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/pucklepodcast. You can follow us over at, what's the other one we do? Twitch at twitch.tv/theppucklepodcast. Or you can help support the show over at trollandtoad.com. When you buy your cardboard, you can use code PucklePod5 at checkout. Or you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/pucklepodcast and help the show out that way. We would really appreciate it. Those playmats are coming. I was getting very upset at our distributor. I am going to a new distributor, and I am going to send them all out this weekend because I'm tired of trying to figure it out. On that note, though, guys, we are going to go ahead and call it a show. I have been Trainer Thatch.
Some say I've been Jushiro.
And I've been R Sigma.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.